Welcome to the suite. My name is Tanya and this is Sweet Tea. Thank you for joining me for my first ever book club reading. And we're going to start today's book club with Lisa Rinna's You Better Believe I'm going to talk about it. It's her new book. Lisa Rinna, as we all know, is a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills alum. And I would say a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills all-star. She did it her own way. That's absolutely the truth. She's Lisa Mother effing Rinna, by the way, which she loves to say. So before we get started, I'm going to go ahead and play my intro, and hopefully that will give some of the little scragglers a little more time to get in here. I would appreciate it if they showed up. Okay, I'm going to play my intro. It's going to take about 51 seconds, and then we're going to get right into this book. I cannot wait. Y'all know Lisa Rinna has a big old mouth, so I can only imagine the little gems she's going to be dropping and the little tea she's going to be dropping. So I'm going to give myself 51 seconds for the intro to play. Y'all grab your drinks, grab your wine, sit back and relax. I'm right here in my room, but you see the background is a suite. It's a virtual suite. I am a hairstylist of 27 years, and we talk a lot of mess in the suites, a whole lot of mess about pop culture, reality television, social movements, all kind of things. But I'm going to play this intro real quick. 51 seconds. I'll be right back, y'all. We're going to get into this book. I cannot wait. Y'all know it's going to be a mess because it's Lisa fucking Rinna. Since the beginning of times, beauty salons and barbershops have had a special place in the hearts of the industry professionals and the patrons alike. We can all remember trips to the shop, special moments made, conversations had, and lessons learned. From politics to pop culture, the latest gossip, love and relationships, and social movements. It's all talked about. Lifelong friendships are created, networks are built, ideas are shared, and politicians are made or broken. Our power is great. Our reach is wide. This is the place where we all shine, from the beginning to the end of times. Let's keep the conversation alive. Join me in my suite from your suite, and let's talk about the tea. Welcome to the sweet, beautiful people, or welcome back to the sweet, beautiful people. My name is Tanya, and I'm your host here at Sweet Tea, and we're going to get right into our very first book club. If you guys are not subscribed, go ahead and get subscribed. I don't want y'all to miss this, and eventually I would love to go live. We could actually talk about it and have some live chats about the conversation, okay? So this first book club meeting, which is Reality Reads. Isn't that a cute name? Reality Reads. I love that for a book club. I love it. Okay. So the first edition is going to be Lisa Rinna's You Better Believe I'm going to talk about it. And y'all better believe she's going to talk about it because it's Lisa fucking Rinna. You know she's going to talk about it. So we're going to get right into this. Let's not waste any time here. Let's not waste any time. So the dedication of the book is to her beloved family, Harry, Delilah, and Amelia. You are everything to me. Y'all, so the contents, you got a cover page, title page, all that, prologue, all that stuff. We're going to get straight into the author's note because the author's note just lets you guys know the tone of this book. It's Lisa fucking Rinna, so you can only imagine, okay? Disclaimer in the author's note. None of the names have been changed in this book because everything here is just my opinion and I'm entitled to it. So fuck them. Just kidding. Some names have been changed to protect privacy. That's literally what she said. Is that not Lisa Rinna for you? We're going to see what all Lisa Rinna is saying in this book. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to read it again because this is going to set the tone for the rest of this book, y'all. You know it's going to be juicy. The disclaimer, the author's note in the book, the author's note, the disclaimer says, none of the names have been changed in this book because everything here is just my opinion and I'm entitled to it. So fuck them. That's what she said. Just kidding. Some names have been changed to protect privacy. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we are actually reading. This is our first book club entry, and we are reading Lisa Rinna's You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It. And y'all, this promises to be juicy. I promise you guys. Here we go. The prologue. Welcome to the Renaissance, or my lips are legendary. They will never gloss over the truth. Y'all, she coming for it already. Let me put my glasses on so I can see good. I want to read this good for y'all. Let me put my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on. I shot one of my very first scenes of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills with Eileen Davidson, Yolanda Hadid, and the show's then breakout star, Brandy Glanville. We know how that turned out. Okay. We were at a hotel restaurant when Brandy came out of the bathroom in full glam, while the rest of us were daytime casual. I was in a white leather jacket and jeans, while Brandy was stuffed into a short cocktail dress, her hair in a bouffant, and with a full face of makeup. I remember being stunned by her appearance. Now y'all know before Brandy messed her face up, Brandy was a pretty lady, like a naturally pretty lady. I never thought she was like all that, but she was kind of cute. Brandy had been on the phone with the show's producers for 3 hours and they were in a panic. The show's boring, Brandy lamented when we started rolling, as if the weight of the Western world was resting on her perfectly toned little shoulders. We got to make something happen. We're supposed to be doing a real show, and here they were filming her breaking the fourth wall, a major no no in the school of acting I come from. Sensing our surprise, Brandy explained, "Don't worry, they can cut around it." Sighing, she added, "Okay, well, sorry if I feel I have to do this. So you're just going to have to go with it." So Brandy came in hot, is what Lisa Rinna is saying. Brandy came in hot, first scene, breaking the fourth wall, trying to take over the show. Can y'all believe that? If you're not surprised by that, let me know in the comments. Oh, my baby's so sweet. He said, "Hi, mom. You're the best YouTuber." Okay. Now do your homework, Riley. Do your homework. Okay, let's see here. Then she threw her glass of wine in Eileen's face. Luckily, she had drank most of it. You mean to tell me that was Brandy just did that to do it? Welcome to the big leagues, bitches. Turns out that little minx Brandy knew she was going to throw wine in Eileen's face, so she figured she might as well look hot when she did it. Love that story? Well, every bit of it is true, and it only gets more bananas from here. I've been a star for 3 decades now, and for all of it, from the soaps to talk shows to my infamous stint on RHOBH, I've been known as a truth teller. I can't help it. Why be anything else? Couldn't y'all hear Lisa saying that? I've only said my lips have a career of their own. I've often said my lips have a career of their own. But it's the words that come out of them that have gained me fans all over the world and turned friends into enemies. I've gotten into so much trouble for expressing myself. I've literally been fined $50,000 by Bravo for opening my mouth and unleashing impulsive opinions on Instagram. That's one reason why, after 8 years clawing my way to the top of RHOBH, I decided to leave the show. Listen, I had a great time. It really was. It was really only that last year that sucked. Before that, there'd been a lot of laughs, so many great stories, and many epic moments with these ladies. It was a good time until it wasn't. Now, what does she mean the last year? What does she mean? She gonna have to elaborate on that. Now that I'm off the show for good, I'm ready to speak my mind, no holds barred, and not just about the housewives, but about my whole career, my whole life even. This isn't just a housewives book. This is my book. So honey, Buckle up because you better believe I'm gonna talk about it. Y'all already know. Y'all already know Lisa Rinna is going to talk about it. She can never keep that mouth shut. She always got something to say. We already know Lisa is about to act the fool in this book. She's about to spill all the tea in this book. I can totally believe because one thing about Lisa, she don't care. Like she doesn't care if you like her or not. She's not gonna care if she hurts your feelings. She's not gonna really care if you're sensitive. Like none of that really matters to Lisa Rinna. You know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine how she gonna act a fool in this book. Okay, here we go. I gotta put the glasses back on. I know I look better with the glasses off, but y'all, I can't see. Like, that's the truth. If you guys have trouble seeing, like the older you get, like I'm 46 now, like so I really can't see. Like if y'all can relate, let me know in the comments. If you can relate, let me know in the comments, honey. Okay, here we go. Uh, she has never once in all that time uttered an untruth. My lovely husband, Harry Hamlin, once confirmed in an interview. But I still feel like my fans don't know all of me. There's Rinna and there's Lisa. They know the Rinna who wigged out on Kim Richards and smashed a wine glass on the table in front of her in Amsterdam. They don't know the Lisa who was in a fog of despair over the loss of her mother during my last year on the show. Not that grieving excuses everything I've done, but, you know, can y'all relate to that? Grieving will put you in a different place. If you've ever lost someone and it's put you in a different place and you can relate to Lisa on that level, let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments, y'all. If you ever lost a parent and it really affected you, let me know in the comments. Like, we can talk more about that on another episode. I lost my dad recently too, so I understand that process. But so Lisa's talking about losing her mom, and she's saying that that doesn't excuse everything she's done. I've been through fire and ice to get where I am today. Some might even say I started some of those fires. And you know what? I own every bit of it. In recent years, "Own it, baby," has become my thing. Why haven't I trademarked that yet? Really, Lisa, why haven't you trademarked that yet? You need to, honey. Anyway, I don't give a shit what anybody thinks or says. I truly don't. And I believe that's the key to life and real freedom. So, yes, I'm ready to go behind the scenes of RHOBH and spill some tea. No topic is too controversial, taboo, or off limits. Wanna know what really happened between Lisa Vanderpump and me? She's trending again, so sure, why not? Wanna know if Harry's gay? Yes, queen, so do I. Probes about my plastic surgery? Pick my brain, but maybe not literally. That's one procedure I can do without. Otherwise, I'm an open book. Having said that, this book is not meant to be a sordid tell all. While our explosive interactions made some entertaining, made for TV mayhem, they also touched on that stuff that all women experience in their day to day lives: frenemies, family, divorce, money, mental health, addiction. Not all RHOBH viewers ride around in limos and vacation in Hong Kong, but maybe they're in the midst of a messy divorce, deep in credit card debt, or their best friends are having a secret lesbian love affair. Did she say that? Who's she talking about? Denise Richards. Denise Richards and Brandy. Remember that? Okay, Lisa is spilling tea in this book, y'all, I'm telling you. Okay, being a woman is complicated, no matter who you are. Now, after the death of my mother, my exit from the show, and celebrating my 60th birthday, I'm exploring this transitional stage of my life. For once, I'm not in a place where everything feels taken care of, and I know exactly what's going to happen. For a control freak like me, that's tough. I'm in the unknown. Of course, I was never really in control. I get that. but having the safety of job security and a cast was definitely appealing. I could have stayed in that place, but I chose not to. I knew in order to move forward in my life, I had to leave RHOBH. Wow. I bet so. I bet that check was feeling good. That steady income, that cash that you had gotten used to, you kinda knew your role, kinda knew where you were going with it. I bet that was very, I bet that did feel very secure, you know? And so here she is turning 60 years old, she's going through all these big life changes, so who knows what we're gonna get from Lisa Rinna in the future. If you guys can relate to that, if you guys can relate to life changes, um, or midlife crisis or things like that, let me know in the chat. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about if we can relate to Lisa in this book or not, if we think Lisa's just full of shit. I don't know yet. We just getting into it. We just starting. This is chapter 1. We're actually still in the prologue, okay? So she says she was never in control. She gets that she had to leave RHOBH. No pain, no gain. We used to say back in the 80s with our leg warmers pulled up to our vaginas. So far, my leap of faith has paid off in ways I never dreamed of. This most recent phase of life has become a renaissance. Hmm. We all know she just did traders, so maybe she's on that, you know? And it turns out I've never felt better, and I've been told I never looked better. What do y'all think? Y'all think Lisa has never looked better? Let me know that in the comments. Maybe I'll, edit this video and insert some pictures and stuff too, okay? But she looks good, I mean, you know, she's in good shape. She gets around, she's always high energy, she runs around good. We saw her on Traders, and she got around good. She's in good shape. She's 61 years old, I think. So, yeah, go ahead, Lisa. Get it, girl. Let's see here. Mm. They told her, she's been told she's never looked better, and jobs are pouring in. So many people ask me, "How do you look so hot? How do you feel so good? How are you still married? How have you raised 2 kids that are still alive and not in prison?" Is that is that the standard? Still alive and not in prison? Thank God they are, and thank God for and Lord, you know, be with everybody who has ever lost a kid or has a child in prison. Like, shout you know, good vibes to them. Um Why are you so happy? It's much more complicated than you think. And my answer to these questions will surprise you. And in truth, I don't like getting older, but that's the reality, baby. So I'm trying to figure out what you do with it. How do we make the best of this stage in life? Just because I'm a certain age doesn't mean I'm supposed to put myself out to pasture. More than one person has said to me, "Why don't you step aside and let your daughters be in the spotlight now?" As if I'm a horse that ran its last race and is headed to the glue factory. Um, are you kidding? Because I'm not in competition with my daughters. Because there is room for all of us at every age to take up space. There is no reason why a woman has to hit a certain age and just chuck it all. That's ageism, and I'm gonna fight it. Fuck that. Come on, Lisa. Come on, Lisa Rinna. Okay? I didn't know what this book was gonna be about, honestly. Like, I didn't know if it was gonna be a bunch of mess, y'all. I'm reading the book with you guys. I have not read this book ahead of time. I'm reading the book with you guys. But I didn't know what it was gonna be about, but and she's definitely doing it her way, and she's talking her way. But so far, we know she's about to address this kind of midlife change, you know, her getting into her 60s and technically a senior citizen and how she's gonna roll with that. And she's telling the truth. I mean, no one wants to age, but at the end of the day, the only way to not age is to die. And so, if long as we live, we're gonna age. So I love where she's going with that. So I like that. If you guys agree with that, let me know in the comments. Um, Oh, thank you. Listening from Scotland. Thank you so much. Please consider subscribing to my channel, y'all. This is my first ever book club, but I'm happy to have it, and I really would love to for you guys to talk about it and you know, let's talk about it. Even if it's after the live chat, we can still talk about it and just observe and dissect and all that. Okay. So she said, "Fuck that. That's ageism." I know so many of the things I'm gonna talk about here are relatable to so many women. I believe that. Grief, aging, my body, my face, plastic surgery, navigating female friendships as you get older, raising daughters in a crazy world, keeping a long-term relationship fresh, and I'm not even talking about sex because I already did that in my second bestseller, The Big, Fun, Sexy Sex Book. Harry and I have been married 120 years by Hollywood standards. It's beyond sex at this point. Now this book is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. If you guys think so, give me a thumbs up. Give me a thumbs up. Why would I be writing another book? Why is now the time? From my signature lips to God's ears, I have a lot to say about the ongoing evolution of being a woman. The last time I wrote a book, I just had my second child, Amelia, and I was trying to figure out how to get my mojo back. Now, a decade and a half later, after leaving RHOBH, I'm at a totally different place in my life. It's weird, but mostly it's exciting. I'm going to reveal a lot of things and share stories that I hope might ultimately help anyone reading this book, and at the very least, will make you laugh. That is my motivation and my true reason for doing what I do. If my story can help other people, it's worth it. I think of this book as a gift, not only to you, my fans, but to me. And I promise it's a hell of a lot better gift than a stuffed bunny. Just ask Kim Richards. So get comfortable. Hey, hey, hey. Pour yourself a glass of Belvedere vodka, soda, and 3 lemon wedges. Carcass out and read on. It's going to be a wild ride. XO Renna. That is literally the prologue. That's awesome. Lena said, so get comfortable. Pour yourself a short glass of Belvedere vodka, soda, and 3 lemon wedges. Carcass out and read on. It's going to be a wild ride. Ooh, this is gonna be good, y'all. Lisa Rinna is doing her thing with this book so far. Like that prologue, if that didn't get you and make you wanna read more, then I don't know what like it got me. It makes me wanna continue to read. So what I would love to do is get through chapter 1 tonight. So chapter 1, it starts off the title of it is "Oof, You're So Angry," or "Grief Turned Me Into a Monster." Hmm, she getting right into the thick of it. Lisa ain't wasting no time, okay? Lisa Rinna is not wasting any time getting to this book at all. She's not wasting any time. Let's see here. I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to mm, alright. Alright, here we go. Chapter 1, here it goes. It's starting, y'all. I just read the prologue. The prologue is damn good, okay? Lisa Rinna is doing her thing. The prologue is damn good. It is damn good. It is. Let's see. Yeah, let's do it like that. Y'all don't have to see my big old face up in the camera. Y'all just wanna hear my voice, right? I just wanna hear my voice. Okay, the first chapter. "Oof, you're so angry," or "Grief turned me into a monster." I said this to Denise Richards in one of my most merciless moments in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills history, when I confronted her about her alleged sapphic affair with Brandi Glanville. But karma kinda came back and bit me in the ass for this one, because by my last season, I became the super angry one. The fallout from that volatile episode set me on a path I never saw coming. Wow, she going deep and quick. You never forget the exact moment you get the call. You know what I'm talking about. When you receive unexpected news that shakes you to your core. There is a you before it happened and a you after. The call happened on a Monday in November 2021. It was a sunny and 72 degrees. It was sunny and 72 degrees, a day as beautiful as any in LA. It was the end of COVID when things were opening back up again, most post-vax and mask. I was meeting a friend for lunch, winding my way up Sunset Boulevard to Pacific Palisades, when the number of my mom Lois's assisted living facility in my hometown of Medford, Oregon, popped up on my phone. My heart sank. It's never a good thing when they call you. Mm. I hesitantly picked up. "Hello?" The attendant on the other end of the line told me that I needed to call the local hospital ASAP. She explained to me my mom had walked down to the front desk of her facility with her purse on, makeup askew, drooling. They went up to her room and saw makeup containers thrown about. My mom must have known she needed help, but she never left home without her hair and makeup done perfectly. God bless her. She had even tried to put on a cute jacket but couldn't. Oh, she'd had a stroke. They called an ambulance immediately, and she was rushed to Ro Rube Regional Medical Center. Oh, that's so sad, y'all. That's so sad. And I can just see her little mama. She was cute as can be. I can just see her trying to get her little makeup on, her little hair done. This was not my mom's first rodeo stroke-wise. She'd had one 7 years earlier and was never quite herself after that. Lois would say it took away the negativity in her brain, that she became happier and nicer. Aw, I disagreed. My mom had never been a negative person. She was naturally happy, go lucky, but she still wasn't herself after the stroke. She was different, like she was a little off center of her normal self. I'd already lost a part of my mother then, and I was not even slightly prepared on this random fucking Monday morning to lose the rest of her. Oh, Jesus. It's gonna make me cry. Oh, no matter how you feel about Lisa, when this is the way that, I just know it just feels gut-wrenching just reading that. Okay. When I spoke to a doctor at the hospital, his words might as well have been the gibberish adults in the Peanuts cartoon speak. "Wah, wah, wah, wah." The only thing I could hear loud and clear was, "There will be no rehabilitation." To say I was gobsmacked would be an understatement. Lois had been living on the independent floor of the Springs at Anna Maria in Medford, Oregon, in her own apartment. I never wanted to be on the first floor because the first floor is a nursing home with 24-hour care. Do not do that to me. My mom pleaded with me several times. However, after this stroke, she needed a lot of care. She's not going to be able to speak, the doctor explained. She's not going to be able to walk. She's going to be in the bed. Mm. By the time I arrived in Oregon the next day, my mom had been moved to a different hospital due to a shortage of beds thanks to COVID, a smaller sister facility in Ashland, 13 miles away. By the time I arrived in Oregon the next day, my mom had been moved to a different hospital due to a shortage in beds thanks to COVID. Okay. She was moved to a smaller facility in Ashland, 13 miles away. I don't know if I didn't read that right or if that's a little typo there. Okay. When I walked into her hospital room, we locked eyes, and she started to cry. Mm, I started to cry too, but tried so hard to hold it back because I didn't want her to see in my tears how bad this truly was. Wow. Suddenly, I had become the parent and the caregiver, but I needed to pull it together to be brave for both of us. Y'all, that's gut-wrenching. Have y'all ever been that's gut-wrenching. And the older we get, the roles reverse like that. We do suddenly become We do suddenly become the caregivers. We can suddenly become the caregivers to our adult parents, but what a blessing it is. What a blessing. If you've had good parents and you're able to take care of them, like, that's such a blessing because to not be able to would tug at your heart, you know? Okay. My mom was angry because she couldn't communicate. She seemed irritated, but the stroke had taken her speech. We thought she was uncomfortable in her bed frame, so we put the mattress on the floor. We finally figured out she had to go to the bathroom. When the nurse inserted the catheter, about 4 gallons of urine came out. Wow. Nurses are the kindest, most amazing humans on the planet. They sure can be, the good ones. Shout out to the good nurses out there. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do either. My mom had my mom had so much pent-up anger, which I knew came from fear. She was helpless. She was never going to be the same, and we both knew it was the beginning of the end. It wasn't gonna get better. Mm. After a couple of days in the hospital, it was time to move her to hospice. My mom's hospice facility was a big white mansion high on a hill back in Medford. I was very familiar with this house. It was built by architect to the stars, Paul R. Williams, in the 1930s and remade into a hospice facility in 2017. My dad worked for fruit purveyors, Harry and David, for 25 years, and the actual Harry and David lived in that house for decades. I played in Bear Creek Park right below it my entire childhood, tennis and softball. Little did I know back then how significantly that house would impact my life. My mom always dreamed of living in the fancy white house on the hill in Medford, and now that was where her beautiful life would end. Wow, what a gift to be able to give that to her, right? What a gift. Again, this is chapter 1 of Lisa Rinna's You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It. If you guys missed the prequel to the book, it was absolutely amazing. Or the preface to the book, it was absolutely amazing. She definitely drew us in. It's gonna be a good book. She came out swinging. She came out talking mess about Brandy and spilling tea already that we didn't know. So this book is gonna be full of a lot of behind the scenes tea. I'm excited about that. If y'all are excited about that, let me know in the chat too. Let me know that. Okay. Choosing hospice care for a parent is one of the most difficult decisions you'll ever have to make. And I'm still not sure if it's better for them to go quickly or to sit there and watch death unfold at an agonizing pace. Hospice is an in-between space where you want to hold on to every second, but know any moment you'll have to let go. When we moved my mom to the big white house, it was November in Oregon. So it was cold and damp and foggy. She died 1 week later. I've never really talked about this, but my dad was one of the few people to die from assisted. Okay, that just kinda took me back. That just kinda took me back. I'm gonna read this paragraph over, you guys, because what she just said in this paragraph is something I never, ever, 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 ever knew about Lisa Rinna, and so she's revealing a lot of things in this book that we just never knew about her, and it will help us to understand better, I think, who Lisa Rinna is and why she is the way she is. So again, this is chapter 1. I'm gonna start that paragraph over. I've never really talked about this, but my dad was one of the few people to die from assisted ending his own life in the United States, thanks to Oregon's Death with Dignity Act, which allowed the option for terminal patients. 6 years before my mom died, my dad got very sick at the age of 93. Dang, her daddy was 93, 6 years before her mom died. What a wonderful He got to live to see 93. And so he got sick at 93. He was miserable. He couldn't see or hear, and he wanted out. He got 2 doctors to sign off. Then they sent us a bag of pills in the mail. Wow. We felt that we had to go along with it because it's what he wanted. I felt terrible about it, but when a loved one asks you to help them, you do it. Oh my goodness. All I could think at the time was, I don't fucking want to do this, but my father doesn't want to suffer anymore. The pills were supposed to come on a Tuesday, but didn't arrive until Thursday. My dad was really mad that they were late. When someone is planning to die, they want to do it right fucking now. This is horrible. I mean, that's horrible. I don't know. We'll talk about it after we finish reading this chapter. How does that feel? Like, how do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments, please. Like, engage. What do y'all think about that? My older half sister Nancy and I sat on stools at a high top table in my parents' assisted living apartment kitchen, opening every single red secano and pouring the white powder into a white okay. The death doula, which is what they call the nurse who supervises it, said we had to put it in orange juice because my dad had to be able to hold it and drink it himself, I guess. You can't just hand the pills to them directly, that's illegal. On top of that, when you assist in this sort of thing, the patient has to hold the glass with the medication and give it to themselves while you watch. That's freaking crazy. Why you have to watch? Like, why would you have to watch? And it takes a lot longer for them to pass than you would think. We said our goodbyes, sobbing, put on Frank Sinatra, his favorite singer. As my mom sat behind him, holding him, we watched him pass, tears streaming down our faces. It took 45 minutes. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun was streaming in through the windows. As agonizing as it was, the moment was also quite beautiful. At the end, it was very peaceful. He just went to sleep. I understand that. I understand that all too well. Not the assisted helping him pass part, but my father passed away just this past January, January 4th, and he was in the hospital since December 15th. So it was very, very, traumatic just watching him fight for his life, and then, um, to watch him pass was traumatizing in a way, but at the same time, it was beautiful, and I wouldn't have had it any other way than to be there. And we played music for him too, and we sang and we read Bible verses. My mother, who's been married to him for 49 years, held his hand, and it was beautiful at the end of the day, and I thank God for relieving him of his pain, and instantly I knew that my father was no longer in pain, instantly. So that's a beautiful thing. Wow. My friend Lindy had lost her father a year earlier, and she told me, "Whatever you do before he passes, say everything you've ever wanted to say to him." So I did. That's right. I forgave him. I forgave myself. I told him everything I ever wanted to tell him, and I'm grateful to Lindy for suggesting that because it was everything. I think that's why I'm able to be okay with it at the end of the day, because I said everything I ever wanted to say to my father. There's a lesson in that too, y'all. There's a lesson in that. Nobody teaches you how to deal with stuff like death or with hospice. So many people have to make this horrific decision to basically unplug the ventilator. Yes, Lord, we had to make that decision, and it was very hard. Then you sit there like a lump, powerless to save someone you love. Yes, yes. Oh, I can relate all too well. Meanwhile, at the end meanwhile, as the end nears, a lifetime of love, memories, regrets, and coulda, shoulda, wouldas play on an endless loop in your mind. It's a surreal experience. Coincidentally, not long before my mom entered hospice, my girls had been talking to a psychic medium named Mama Netta. She kept talking about birds and seeing them everywhere, and we were like, "Well, what is she talking about? What birds?" But one day before my mom died, we looked around the hospice room and finally noticed there were birds literally everywhere, on the chairs, every painting on the wall, the upholsteries on the window seat, all birds. See how the good Lord works? All birds. Ooh, in those last days, as I stared at my mom for hours, immense love and gratitude flooded through me. As fans of RHOBH know, because she appeared on the show many times, Lois was such a special lady. She's 110% responsible for giving me my strength, which is something that I took for granted for a long time. Back when she was herself, I never perceived her as strong because she was sweet and positive and never came across as bold and ballsy as I am. But the truth is, she was way bolder and ballsier than I am. I may be louder on the outside, but my mom had strength on the inside. She taught me that positivity is not the opposite of strength. My mom is why I am who I am. That is relatable as well. Shout out to the mamas that's strong, honey. I know I have one. And Lois had every right to be bitter, to be a bitter, angry woman. In 1960, a couple years before I was born, my mom was kidnapped by a coworker named David Carpenter, who drove her down a deserted road where he poked her with a knife, and hit her over the head with a hammer multiple times. Thank God a military policeman had seen Carpenter turn off and thought it was odd. When Carpenter realized they'd been followed, he got out of his car to attack the policeman who banged him in the stomach with the pow pow. My mom had half of her head taken off, but she opened the car door and then her purse spilled. She was in such she was in so shock. She was so in shock, all she could do was put the items back in her purse. She was in the hospital for 3 months. My mom and dad had started dating just 6 weeks earlier. Wow. So he was there with her through that too. Daddy stayed around for that. That's amazing. Carpenter served just 7 years for my mom's attack. Wow. Then after getting sprung from prison, he was convicted of taking out at least 7 more people near San Francisco between 1979 and 1981 and was dubbed the Trailside Killer. Last time I checked, he was moved out of death row. Whoa. Whoa. Horrific, right? Here's the thing. My mom never went to therapy. Well, she went once and they gave her a Seconal, Seconal, Seconal. It made her too tired. A detail I recognize now is as ironic since the medicine she didn't like was the same that ended my wow, her dad's life. She never went to therapy again. Today, several of my friends have multiple strings on speed dial, but my mom dealt with her trauma, not to mention metal plates in her head, totally on her own. Wow, that was amazing. Yeah, that was horrific, alright. This is the thing though, you guys. This is the thing. Thank God her mother was able to deal with the trauma on her own. Thank God she was. Thank God she was. But we are also lucky today in the sense that we have resources, right? We have therapists that we can go to. We have prescribed medications we can take to help us get through those things. So just because someone has to go to therapy or take medication to help them deal with their issues does not make them any less strong than someone who has the ability to do it without to deal with their issues without therapy or assistant, medications or, some kind of help, okay? So, mm, She could have been a substance abuse. She could have been a substance abuser in a fucking mess. Instead, my mom chose to wake up every day, put on a cute outfit, do her makeup, and go about her life. That's the kind of strength I'm talking about. And that's the thing, you guys, that it does take strength to just go on, okay? No matter what we're going through, we're gonna all face hard times in life. There's gonna always be trials and tribulations, but it takes strength and it takes courage to continue and to just go on. This is my mother calling. Hold on. Mama?
Huh?
Hey,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm okay. What's wrong?
Oh, did I call you?
Yeah, you just called me.
Oh, shit. It's on my spirit. She was trying to
Okay, I'm on live, mama. I'm on live on YouTube. Reading Lisa Rinna book.
Oh,
Now that was real. That's my mama, okay? We have to get her on in the suite sometimes. My mother is a trip. She is really a trip. And she has the same kind of strength that Lisa's talking about, that quiet strength. That quiet strength. They just keep going. They don't complain too much. They just make it work, do what they have to do, and they look good doing it. Something about looking good when you're going through something just makes it feel better. I know for me, like when I'm going through something, if I'm sick, even when I was going through chemotherapy, I had breast cancer. Like I always felt better, even when I went to chemo with my makeup on, I felt better. Like if I had my hair done, makeup on, I always just felt better. When you're going through something and you have the strength to fix yourself up and continue, like it just makes you feel better. At least it does for me. But makeup for me is kind of therapeutic. Like I like to sit on my bed in the morning, do my makeup. It's kind of a ritual. So yeah, Lois was a strong little honey. She was a strong little something. Lisa had a very strong mom. And that's crazy to think about all that she went through. I did not know that she was attacked. I do remember from the show them saying something about her being attacked by someone who was later a serial. I do remember that, but to know that in detail, that's crazy, right? Okay. She said, "Listen, I'm not trying to glamorize repressing trauma, so don't at me." Okay, because that's what I was going with it, Lisa. I was thinking, "Don't do that now, Lisa." It was different back then, and women who went through the ringer like my mom and still ran a household are superheroes. They were experts at sweeping everything under the carpet. My mom didn't have a choice. She grew up in a time when you were supposed to be a good wife and cook for your husband and clean and fill a traditional female role, which I didn't necessarily know how to do, but she did. She played those parts perfectly. This book feels so familiar in different ways. It's very relatable. Good job, Lisa Rinna. Good job. This book feels very relatable. Good job, Lisa Rinna. Okay. My mom didn't even tell me about Carpenter until I was 18. One day we were making lunch, standing in our kitchen. She liked to repaint the kitchen every 10 years, and I recall that it was bright yellow that day. When I would tell you I was hit over the head with a hammer by kids down the street, she said. Well, that was not the case, and I think you're old enough now to hear what really happened. As she told me the harrowing story, I instantly compartmentalized it. It was so bizarre and surreal that I wasn't in shock or freaking out. It was like someone reading a novel to me, and all I could think to say was, "Oh, that's why you can't smell or taste anything." Really, Lisa? I wasn't mad at her for lying to me my whole life, but she should have told me sooner. I told my Housewives co-star Dorit Kemsley after she was robbed at gunpoint, supposedly, in her own home to tell her children sooner than later because they deserve to know why their mother is the way she is and what she went through. Wow. Wow, that's deep, y'all, because she said that her mother had every right to be, a bitter old woman or whatever, and, she thinks about her mother being as strong as she is, but to know why and where she got that strength from, that's that's powerful. That's powerful. Mhm. Okay. My mom's trauma made me cautious and untrusting of other people, but Lois always had a sense of humor about her ordeal. I mean, how many people do you know who not only survived a serial killer, but can laugh about it? That's real too. The weird thing is that I never thought really hard about any of this until my mom was passing away. It all came into focus and I was finally able to see her clearly. Of course, because of the generation I grew up in, I did all the inner self work. I did all the therapy and I came to better understand generational trauma. I subscribe to the philosophy that when someone has that kind of trauma and you are birthed from them, you come out of the womb dealing with that trauma subconsciously. Then eventually it comes out consciously in your life. I guess that makes sense. So what she's saying is basically you are the fruit of your parents' seeds, you know? You grow from what they instill in you and from who they are. You are certain things are generational and hereditary and at the very least passed down, whether it's consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously. Um, so right, first of all, are you guys surprised that Lisa Rinna is getting this deep in this book? Like, if you guys are surprised that Lisa Rinna is getting this deep in this book, put a 1 in the comment. 'Cause I, for one, am shocked. Like, I thought I was going to be reading this book and it was gonna be nothing but tea from front to back, gossip, messy, mean girl, whatever. Like, I am surprised that she is going this deep in this book. Okay. So trauma and grief are part of my DNA. But wait, there's more. Picture me saying that out loud, like I'm on one of my QVC shows selling a duster cardigan. When I was 6, I lost my half sister, Lorraine, who was 21 and accidentally OD'd. Lorraine was my sister on my dad's side. She was kind and beautiful and had short hair parted on the side with a bouffant in back. Let me read that. I wanna picture it. She was kind and beautiful. As a hairdresser, I always gotta think about the hair, okay? Had short hair parted on the side with a bouffant in the back. Oh, okay. I'm picturing, like, the mom from, Brady Bunch, Carol. Okay. She was married at 16, then again at 19. Dang. She was married at 16, then again at 19. I don't remember her husband. I don't have any memories of her at all because I was very young. And then the poor woman, then she OD'd at 21 and Lisa was 6. That was a long time ago. Did people really OD back then? Like, that had to be, like, shocking because I've never heard of anybody ODing on drugs from that long ago, you know? I wonder if it was like LSD or, I don't know. They do all kind of stuff. They were doing all kind of stuff back in the '70s. I'm assuming that's when it was. 'Cause Lisa said that she was 6 or maybe the '60s. Mm, okay. She doesn't have any memories of her sister, but there was one image permanently etched in my memory of going to my Italian grandma, Nanny Lee's annual Christmas dinner in Berkeley, California. Nanny Lee loved to cook and feed everyone, so she prepared a giant spaghetti dinner and homemade chocolate-covered raisins and Rocky Road candy from my dad's side of the family. Nanny Lee set up long picnic tables in her basement where she stored homemade barrels of wine. Mm. I can picture Lorraine sitting on the bench, smiling and smoking, but I had no clue she was a troubled young woman. That's awful. After Lorene died, I never had my dad again. Frank Renner checked out. Wow. I think he was terrified to lose another human being. If he loved me, he could lose me, so he subconsciously put up a boundary. It wasn't anyone's fault, it wasn't malicious, it was protection. It was a protection mechanism. That's probably why I'm so driven to get attention. That and the fact that my mom had the performing bug in her DNA. So, she really wanted to be an actor, but she was too scared to ever do anything about it. She manifested her dream through me. She encouraged me to give it a go and made me believe in myself. I was so lucky to have parents who thought being an actor was cool and didn't make me major in business in college just in case. Oh, girl. Oh, Renna, that hit deep. Oh, that hit deep, Renna. I wanted to be an actress. Side note, I wanted to be an actress when I was a little girl, and I grew up in Los Angeles, California, and I wanted to be an actress so bad, or a model. I'm 5 well, back then I was a lot thinner and a lot younger. I'm 46 years old now. But I'm a very tall woman, and I've always been tall. And I wanted to be an actress so bad, my mom would not let me. She would not let me for my own protection, and I'm glad she did because now we hear stories, the P. Diddy stories and all that. So, you know, she definitely protected me because, honey, I would have been a fool if R. Kelly would have come to my school or something or told me he was gonna put me in a video, I'd have been gone. So, I'm glad that she did protect me. Okay, let me get back to this book. Mm. She said her parents let her act instead of making her major in business just in case. Mm. She says, "My mom loved my career. She loved fame, and me being on a show anytime I was working, we would take her to LA hotspots like Craig's and the Polo Lounge, and she loved to see celebrities there and get photographed by paparazzi. Unfortunately, her favorite celeb encounter was Ken Todd, Vanderpump's husband. Ah! Much to my much to my chagrin, that was her greatest thrill. Aw, that's so sweet. Ken Todd is a nice man, though. I could see Lois being excited to meet him. I think the greatest part of her last few years was being able to come on RHOBH. She loved those girls, and the girls loved her. They did. They really did. The girls were so lovely with her too. They would never be mean to my mom, and when she was around, they were much nicer to me. It always helps to have the mom that everybody likes. I have the mom too that everybody likes. She's a sweetheart. My favorite moment with her on the show was when we were all fighting at the table, and I asked my mother, "Lois, what do you think about all this?" She looked around and just shot back, "I think it's all bullshit." That's right, Lois. So, yeah, I watched my mom die. I saw both my parents die. I'm actually very grateful for that because not many people get to be with their parents when they pass. That's right. It's beautiful. It's a blessing. I'm very blessed that I got to take that time with them because I was so busy. Between filming Housewives and all the other things going on, it would have been very easy for me to not be part of either one of their passings. I could have been somewhere filming, but I wasn't. That was a true gift. That's right, Lisa. At the end of the day, it's certain things that are important and certain things that trump all the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that are just more important than money, fame, filming, and that's one of those things, and I'm happy to see that Lisa was grounded enough to understand that and to take advantage of the opportunity to be with her parents. This goes to show, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes of other people's lives. Even though all the ladies loved Lois during both my parents' deaths, my RHOBH castmates were awful to me. Ooh, now the tables turn. She getting to it. Whew. When my dad died during season 7, I was accused of being a drug addict, and Lisa Vanderpump and Dorit were tag team torturing me. It was rough. The Beverly Hills Housewives posse was even worse after my mom passed. Ooh, now she getting into it. Okay, Lisa. Now this is the Lisa Rinna that said, "You better believe I'm going to talk about it." Okay, her mother passed, her dad passed, and she's saying that her cast members were awful to her. Lisa is spilling tea. Here we get to the good stuff. The other part was good too, but it was deep. It was really deep. It was heavy. My heart is kind of feeling a little heavy after reading about her parents' death. But now she getting to the messy stuff. Okay, y'all check in, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Whew. I must say though, Kyle Richards called me at one point because her mom had died in hospice. I think you might want to know that we needed to leave the room and tell her it was okay to go before she would go. She wouldn't go when we were all in the room. I hadn't thought of that. So last night in her hospice room, Harry, my girls, and I said our goodbyes to Lois, told her it was okay to go, and that's exactly what happened. We left her that last time, and she went in the morning at 5:05 a.m. I was very grateful to Kyle for that advice. I didn't want to see her body after she passed. I didn't want to remember her that way. But my older sister Nancy said to get my butt in the car and go see her. I'm so glad I did. Now, this is funny. I know Lois would want me to tell this story. So I went into the parlor for my last viewing, and one of her eyes was open and one was closed. She was winking at me. Are you kidding? But I know she did that on purpose for me. My mom and I had one last laugh together. Oh, 3 days after my mom died, RHOBH producers asked me to go to Mexico to film the very first scenes of season 12 with the girls. Who am I kidding? It wasn't an ask. Bravo should have said to me, "Lisa, don't worry. I know we're just starting this show, but you take as much time as you need." No, I was being pressured to not only film my mom's funeral in Oregon, but to get my ass on that trip. So I went to Mexico. Are you kidding me? Are you guys surprised? Do you guys believe that Bravo pressured her to go to, Mexico? And if so, are you guys surprised by that? Wow. So, what did she say 3 days after her mom died? 3 days after her mom died, she went to Mexico to film, which in hindsight is insane. I was in shock. I had so much logistical stuff to take care of. I mean, how'd you even bury her? The business of wrapping up a life is a full-time job and a really traumatizing one. It is. Thank God for my sister. She stepped in and did all that stuff you need to do because I couldn't make a decision to save my life. And I felt like nobody from the show helps in any way. When I showed up to Conrad Punta de Mita in a bikini, nobody said, "Oh my God, you just lost your mother and here you are." In their defense, when they went through traumatizing personal stuff, I wasn't always there for them either. The attitude on the show was, "Okay, we gotta get this done. We gotta be good girls, and we're here to do the work." And I admit, I had played into that mentality too for 8 seasons. But coming back with a new perspective after my mom died, it was just like, "What are we doing?" Yeah, what are you doing when 3 days after your mom passed, you felt like you had to go to work? Like, that's awful. 3 days after her mom passed, she felt like she had to go back to work. That's awful, y'all. If you're just joining us, we are reading Lisa Rinna's book, You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It. We're on chapter 1 right now, and we're gonna continue reading. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed and like the video, you guys. Let's put it in the algorithm. Let's grow our book club, okay? We're on chapter 1. Technically, I could have waited a couple of weeks, then shown up, but they couldn't afford to be without me. They could not have made the show without me. They had to have me, and they knew it. Now she talking mess, honey. Lisa said they had to have her. Lisa said she was the show, okay? They knew it. They had bajillions of dollars at stake, and they couldn't rely on those other women. That's the truth. It's always about money. At first, production was careful with me because my mom had just died 3 days earlier. The producers focused on other things. The Mexico trip was about Crystal Kung Minkoff and Sutton Strack and a bunch of drama I don't even remember. I was a walking zombie through that whole thing. I didn't have my own meltdown until a couple of weeks later at the Rose party. I cursed out Sutton over an argument we'd had about Elton John's Oscar party ticket. Sutton claimed she purchased the tickets for me, which she didn't. We were personally invited by the charity and Elton himself. Apparently, I never said thank you for the Oscar tickets, even though I didn't get them from her. While at the same time, I demanded a thank you from Garcelle for giving her a jar of Harry's pasta sauce. Oh, the hypocrisy. I will fucking cut you down. I screeched at Sutton before kicking her out the house. Was my anger misplaced? Totally. Looking back, I know it was the grief. But I got fed up. I was sick of the bullshit, and I fucking lost it on the girl who pushed my buttons the most. I full on raged at her, and I continued to take it out on Garcelle. And I continued to take it out on Garcelle. Erica Jane posted someone throwing Garcelle's memoir in the trash. Ooh, and she put in parentheses, feel free to return the favor now. At the reunion, we copped to the truth. I made the video tossing it in my garbage because she discussed my daughter's eating disorder without permission, and it pissed me off. That's not okay. Erica posted it and got all the grief because there were plastic bottles that Harry had put in there. So it looks like Erica didn't recycle. Oops. That is hilarious. That's the behind the scenes stuff that we didn't know about, okay? I went a little rogue on social media, bad mouthing the whole show, my castmates, Andy Cohen, anyone in my line of sight. I posted a screenshot. Sorry, y'all. I posted a screenshot of my private text message I gotten from a crazed fan that said, I'm going to get you. It had his phone number on it. In retaliation, he doxed me and posted a message of mine that had my phone number on it. I got thousands of phone calls and had to change the number I'd had for 25 years. How did the fan get her phone number? She said, a crazed fan. How did the fan get her phone number to send her a text message to her phone she'd had for 25 years? That's crazy. I reached out to everyone at Bravo, Senior VP Kathleen French, Andy, Alex Baskin, all the producers, and begged them to help me with the stalking. I'm in a tremendous amount of pain. Please, somebody help me. And none of them would. They just tried to pacify me and said they would see what they could do, but nobody ever did anything. I get it now. I can see where it looked like I was going a little crazy. Not only on the show, but on the internet. I was really going through some scary, traumatizing stuff, and it felt like no one was listening or offering a helping hand. Maybe it was a cry for help, but I think that situation would drive anyone a little mad. Now, did Lisa ever was she ever found out to be the one that had hired the bot to torture Garcelle's son? Let me know in the comments if y'all remember that. Did Lisa Rinna did that ever come out who hired the bots to torture Garcelle's son? Andy publicly called my rampage disastrous and said I lacked impulse control. At BravoCon, waiting backstage to go on, Erica turned to me and warned, just be prepared, you might get booed. Really? Okay. That took me off guard, but I'm glad she told me. The warning was helpful because when I got booed, I wasn't shocked or hurt. In Medford as a kid, I used to go watch live WWE matches at the Armory, and the fans always loved the villains the most. So, pumped on adrenaline, I flipped off the BravoCon audience and took my seat like I was one of those guys headed into the ring. Dang, Lisa. I forgot when you did that. I forgot when Lisa flipped the audience off. Ugh. By the way, there were also a lot of fans cheering for me. It wasn't quite as dramatic as what was reported, but I considered the boos a badge of honor thanks to my love of wrestling. I wasn't devastated. It was more like, wow, I really hit a nerve, didn't I? Listen, I was deserving of some of this backlash after 8 years on the show. Absolutely. People were gunning for me to take a wrong step, and I handed it to them on a silver platter. I had so much repressed anger from my mother's death, then from my mother's death then, and the feeling that I was forced to go back to work too soon, that would make someone feel hostile, y'all. Just a side note. That would make anybody feel a little sort of way if you were forced to go back to work by this $1,000,000, multi-million-dollar, um, network. Like, they could have afforded to let Lisa have a couple of weeks off. It's not like it's a small company who can't deal without her, who can't do it without her, you know what I'm saying? She says, "I had so much repressed anger from my mother's death and the feeling that I was forced to go back to work too soon. After that, the rage, which you feel in grief, was real and it was on. I really lost my mind. I started acting out loudly on social media. I was just calling people out. I even called Donald Trump out. I mean, who knows what I even did? I was in a fog of my own grief. The thing about grief is it makes people very uncomfortable, in part because it reminds them of mortality, but also because everyone handles grief differently. It's volatile, and no one knows exactly the type of person you're going to be or how you're going to behave while grieving. It forces out ugly, uncomfortable emotions. In my case, we all know what happened. I definitely could have handled myself better, but I also think everyone could have had a little more patience with me at the time, all things considered. I've always had my lovers and haters, but the audience really turned on me full force. I was called vile and evil, and I got death threats. People thought I was legit nuts and needed a 5150 hold. If y'all don't know, that's when they take you involuntarily and put you in the psych ward for a couple of days. Somebody should have pulled me aside and said, "Okay, Rinna, enough already." But instead, they were judging me, calling me names like stupid monster. Andy Cohen begged me to get off social media. He was admonishing me and making me feel like I was crazy too. Nobody was doing it in a way that would help me. Nobody took me aside and hugged me and said, "Girl, I'm here for you. What do you need?" No one. So the rage happened and it felt out of control because it was out of control. Listen, I have to grieve in public. Most people don't have to do that. My grieving process was to rage on a television show and on social media in front of the world. It was embarrassing. At the time, it was hurtful that people didn't allow me time. Instead, they villainized me. In my opinion, I was not trying to push people's buttons. My grief was too much for the fans to handle. So they had to make me the bad guy. I became the scapegoat for whatever reason, whether the girls or the fans were just waiting to come for me. I'm not sure. Maybe I deserved it for what I had done in the other years, but always has to be a villain on the show. If you watch all 8 of my seasons, you wouldn't say, "Oh my god, Lisa is so different in season 8." I'm really the same. Let's not forget my debut season way back in the Masonic era of 2014. I hurled a wine glass at Kim. But after my mom's death, I became public enemy number 1 in the RHOBH verse. She ain't lying. She not lying about that. I remember that. Like, I remember that. Oh, man. And it was also because she was beefing with Garcelle. At the time, Garcelle was, like a fan favorite. Garcelle was a fan favorite, and Rinna was beefing with Garcelle, and she just admitted earlier in this book, in chapter 1 of You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It, that she kinda took out her grief on Garcelle. She should have gotten a little deeper into that. I'm not gonna, hold it against her, though. We're gonna see because 'cause we're just getting into the book, and so far it's very good, and hopefully she'll get a little further into that and maybe even issue her own apologies in this book. It seems like she's owning stuff, but she's also still assigning blame. Like, she'll say, "Yeah, I did this, but they did this. I did this, however, they did this." So she is while she is owning her stuff, she's definitely still holding everybody else accountable too. So she's gonna force them to own it whether they want to or not. Okay, Lisa, let's continue. It was beyond horrible, so much so that continuing on the show didn't seem worth it anymore, but leaving was easier said than done. And the truth is, I always wanted to leave. That was not new. At the end of every season, I'd after I'd gone so hard and gave my all, I would turn to Harry and say, "I'm done. Don't ever let me go back. I'm not going back." Then I go back. It's kind of like childbirth. All the stress, the drama, the trauma, then months would go by between seasons, and I kind of forget how hard it was and think, it wasn't that bad. All right, I'll go back and I'll do it again. I was still trying to make a decision when a few months after my mom died, she came to me in a dream. "You need to leave now," Lois said. "It's time for you to go." This is the juncture where it all changed. The aha moment. And my mom orchestrated the whole thing. Because guess what? If she hadn't come to me, I would still be there. I'm a worker bee actor, and we respond to a paycheck and a steady gig. There's nothing better than that. Also, as Harry would say, that show made you so famous, and who doesn't love that? I mean, that's the truth of it. Look at all the people who want to do the show who have plenty of money. It's because they want the fame. I was more famous than I'd ever been. I was making a salary. What would make me leave the show unless it got so bad that I couldn't take it anymore? And that's exactly what happened. I just couldn't do it. There was no way I was gonna live my life in this negativity anymore. I thought about announcing I quit on the season 12 reunion show, but decided not to. Maybe I should have, because when I arrived at the reunion taping, it was clear I was a sitting duck. We had already been filming for hours when Kathy Hilton came into the studio to film her part. Ooh, it's about to get good, y'all. We had one of the most brutal dust ups in franchise history, so she was obviously coming in for the grand finale, guns a-blazing. Ooh, okay. You guys, y'all might wanna pause it and go get your drink. It's about to get good. She's about to talk about Kathy. Let me put my face back on the screen so y'all can see how serious I am. She is about Lisa Rinna in her book, You Better Believe I'm Gonna Talk About It, is about to talk about the incident with Kathy, which she witnessed Kathy supposedly doing. I'm about to read that part in this book. If y'all wanna pause it and go get your drink, you might wanna do that now because y'all, it's about to get messy. Get your napkin because it's about to get messy, okay? It's about to get messy. Get your napkins, baby. Here we go. Let me say this too. I keep taking myself off the screen, y'all, because I'm squinting and stuff to see, and, I don't want y'all to see all that, so I'll come back on when y'all need to see my expressions and my facial expressions, but I'm gonna go ahead and take myself off while I read. That's alright. If y'all tell me if you guys prefer it a certain way. If y'all would rather me be on the screen reading, like, leave me a 2 in the chat. If you don't mind me reading it like a voiceover style, leave me a 3 in the chat. Even if it's in the replay, I would appreciate the feedback. I would absolutely appreciate the feedback. Just so I wanna make it good for y'all, I wanna make it nice. I wanna make it nice, like Dorinda would say. So y'all let me know. Okay, peeps, here we go. She's about to start the story with Kathy. It's about to get serious, y'all. She says, "Here's the true story." Ooh, I gotta come back on camera for this, 'cause I want y'all to see my expressions, and y'all, we gonna talk about this. Okay. Okay, here's the true story. I witnessed Kathy's bad behavior over the course of filming that season, especially on our trip to Aspen, and I think the Hiltons had tried to hide it. What behavior is she talking about? That had been their goal the entire time. They spent years and years covering it up, and all of a sudden, I've called it out on national TV. But I wasn't gonna protect her. I was gonna call her out on it, and that is what I did. That night in Aspen, she came back from the club to the house where we were staying at and had an absolute meltdown in the dark. There were no lights on. She flipped out, pounding on the walls, screaming and yelling, and absolutely losing her fucking shit, and it scared me. I had never, ever had anybody behave like that in front of me in my entire life, and it freaked me the fuck out. I spoke of it, and I was villainized for that. I didn't understand, although now I do. Because that machine, the Hilton Richards machine, has really done a lot of work to keep that undercover. They were not about to let Lisa Rinna fuck that up. Bravo went along with it, and so did Andy Cohen. Ooh! I went down for it and took the fall because they spent too many years and too much money protecting their name. God, where is the sound effects? We need a sound effect on that one, Lisa mother effing Rinna. Let me put my damn banner up here. My damn oh, where is my banner too? Okay. Cause I don't need Kathy Hilton them coming after me behind Lisa Rinna's book. Cause I'm reading the book. I don't need Kathy and them coming up behind me behind Lisa Rinna's book. Lisa said it, I didn't. I'm gonna read it again though, because y'all need to hear that again. And I wanna be a little extra and put a little, sound effect on. Need a little background music too. Do y'all like the background music in the back while I'm reading? Let me know about that too in the chat. Let me know or in the comment. Okay. Are y'all ready for this? Are y'all ready for this? Lisa is talking about her and Kathy. And this is what she said happened. Here's the true story. I witnessed Kathy's bad behavior over the course of filming that season, especially on our trip to Aspen, and I think the Hiltons had tried to hide it. They had been that had been their goal the entire time. They spent years and years covering it up, and all of a sudden I've called it out on national TV. But I wasn't going to protect her. I was going to call her out on it. And that's what I did. That night in Aspen, she came back from the club to the house we were staying at and had an absolute meltdown in the dark. There were no lights on. She flipped out, was pounding on the walls, screaming and yelling and absolutely losing her effing shit. And it scared me. I had never, ever had anybody behave like that in front of me in my entire life. And it freaked me the fuck out. I spoke of it and I was villainized for that. I didn't understand, although I do now, because that machine, the Hilton Richards machine, has really done a lot of work to keep that undercover. They were not about to let Lisa Rinna fuck that up. Bravo went along with it, and so did Andy Cohen. I went down for it and took the fall because they spent too many years and too much money protecting their name. Are you kidding me? Lisa. Lisa. The show doesn't allow us to bring anyone, no publicists, no agents, no assistants to the reunion. You can bring a hair and makeup person, so I always use either Scott King or Joey Maloof, but allowing anyone else on set is very rare. That way we have zero protection and we are forced to engage with each other and are at our most vulnerable. We get a producer assigned to us, but if they are foe, not friend, you're in enemy territory from the moment you step foot in the studio. Wow. And y'all know what that makes me think about? Off subject with from this book, but still Housewives related. Lisa Rinna just said, "We get a producer assigned to us, but they are foe, not friend. You're in enemy territory from the moment you step you're in enemy territory from the moment you step foot in the studio." I thought about the fact that Carlos King produced Candy's wedding special. And there are so many receipts on that wedding special that are going to work in Todd's favor. And we all know that Candy and Carlos be beefing. I mean, I don't know what their relationship was like back then. I don't know what it was like back then, but is it a coincidence, like Nene would say? Is it a coincidence that Carlos King was a producer on that wedding special that is now going to be used to back Todd up? Was that a scheme that Todd and Carlos set up? Hmm. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We're gonna start that over. That's that paragraph, okay? We get a producer assigned to us, but they are foe, not friend. You're in enemy territory from the moment you step foot in the studio. Just picture us all safe in our dressing rooms for 3 hours while getting ready. Then we emerge from our cocoons in couture with makeup and hair rivaling RuPaul's Drag Race contestants. We look each other up and down, head to toe, before entering the arena for battle. She ain't lying. That's how they be acting too. When they come out, it's like, "Oh, you look good," or like, you see all their facial expressions when the other ladies walk out to join the reunion set. She's not lying about that. FYI, Bravo does not pay for our outfits. We have to buy our always short dresses ourselves. They don't have to be short, which we had to get approved by the network prior to taping. We're supposed to give them 3 choices, but I always just said, "This is what I'm wearing, deal with it." Why does she say always short? I wonder if they told her she had to wear short, because we see ball gowns and a lot of the other ladies. Does Beverly Hills always wear short dresses? Or I wonder if there's somebody on the cast who always wants to wear a short dress, and then they always have to wear short dresses. I'm not sure about that. I don't know where she got that from. I'm ashamed to admit that I bought my first season reunion dress from Net a Porter, left the tag on, and returned it right after the taping. But I felt so guilty about it, and I never did that again, and almost went broke buying bazillion-dollar dresses for the next 7 finales. No designer is going to loan a dress for the toxic mess that is the Housewives reunion. Wow. I always thought they could get designers to loan them dresses and stuff for the reunions. I didn't realize they had to buy all their own reunion looks. We see the set for the first time and find out where we're sitting. And that's when you get the first inkling of what's about to go down, who you're on the couch with, how close you are to Andy, it all matters. We always thought that it matters. We always, as the viewers, we always thought that the reunion seating mattered. And so now we have Lisa Rinna in the book confirming that the seating does matter. And so it's going to be interesting to hear her take on it and on how they feel about it. Okay, we see the set for the first time and find out where we're sitting. And that's when you get the first inkling of what's about to go down, who you're on the couch with, and how close you are to Andy. It all matters. I always make sure to come to the couch with my receipts, face powder for touch ups, and any other props needed to make a point. I know that's right, Lisa. I did 8 of those things, and they were all different and weird. Anywho, back to the season 12 reunion. All of a sudden, I saw Kathy's publicist, Andy Gelb, Gelb. He's big time. Bravo must have allowed it because normally we were not allowed to have anyone there with us. She had her weighted security blanket, and I had nobody. They were coming for me. So my hackles went up, my claws came out, and I began preparing for war. I remember the moment Kathy sat down across from me with her purse. It was such a setup. Kathy's my confrontation. Kathy and my confrontation was the big act 3, meat of that year's reunion. Everybody had been waiting for it. It was all fluff up until that point, and off we went. The only person who was there for me was Erica. Right after the reunion, she came into my dressing room with tears rolling down her cheeks. You must never come back, she insisted. I thought about the first time I met Erica. She came over to my house for a dessert party. We were making chocolates. I didn't know anything about her, but I instantly liked her, even though she showed up with Yolanda Hadid. Yolanda and I had a history of beefs. For some reason, when Erica was leaving my house, I felt compelled to give her some advice. I pulled her aside and said, "We work for gangsters. Don't ever forget that. It was like Vegas. Bravo was the casino. We're the players. And the house always wins. We come full circle." I think that's a good place to stop. I think that is a good place to stop. Wow, you guys. So far, I am very intrigued. I am very intrigued. If the video wasn't already an hour and 32 minutes, I would keep going. But I don't want it to be too long because I don't want you guys to get bored watching. If you have watched this long, though, I certainly appreciate it. I certainly appreciate it. And again, subscribe, y'all. Subscribe so you guys can get the notifications when I upload the next chapter, okay? So I'm definitely going to do that, and we're going to keep this book club thing going. I like it. I think I want to do one of the books that Nene wrote too, because I know she's returning to Housewives, and Nene has always been one of my favorites, and I think she's one of the most misunderstood people in Real Housewives history. So I would love to get a little deeper insight into who she is and why she is the way she is as well. So if you guys would like to hear that, let me know that in the comments too. If there's anybody else you guys want to hear, anyone else in particular, let me know. Just tell me and we can do that, okay? Thanks for joining me in this suite, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this live and end right there, but I'm going to put a little bookmark and we're going to come back and we're going to watch, or we're going to keep reading. We're going to keep reading. If you guys are again, if y'all are still here, thank you so much to the person that was joining me from Scotland this evening. I think that is so awesome. Thank you to my baby Riley. Thank you so much, baby. You're so supportive. I love that. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to end this live, but I will be posting it, y'all. So if you guys want to go back, I just read the first part of chapter 1, and it went on for an hour and a half. So I'm going to end it right now, but y'all subscribe to my channel and like the video. Leave me some comments. Let's talk about it like a book club, okay? So I'll come back and read the next little bit within the next couple of days. I'll set a little flyer up there and set the time for the live, okay? So thank you guys so much for joining me. Again, my name is Tanya. This is Sweet Tea, and this is the first edition of Reality Reads, our new book club. If you would like to be a part of it, don't forget to subscribe. It's free. It's free, y'all. And you guys could follow along or just listen to me read it, but I want to really discuss it. So when I'm able to gain and grow this audience and grow this community and have more people here in the lives, we can start coming up and talking about it and pausing and really discussing these books. And I think I would like that. If y'all would like that too, let me know in the comments. Until next time, from my sweet to your sweet. Peace out, beautiful people. See y'all later.